Hi everyone, I'm Jim and welcome to the Anti-Review, a show where I almost review movies. Today, it's Madame Web time. Basically, this is a Morbius spin-off, or maybe a sequel, whatever. Just like the movie itself, I didn't prepare a script for this episode, because if they don't care, why should I? I've watched this film yesterday and then I had nightmares of being boring and soulless, just like the movie itself. Let's start with the crew. So, this movie was done by S.J. Clarkson, she's the director, and she's also the fourth writer. And usually, when a movie has 4 people doing the screenplay, it means a lot of changes have been done, and well, it doesn't bode well for the movie itself. Usually a good movie has 1 or 2 writers, no rewrites. This movie seems like a pilot for a TV show that would be cancelled after that pilot. Let's see what S.J. Clarkson did before this movie. She did some good stuff, Jessica Jones, I love that show, especially the first season. The main villain, the actor who played him, David Tennant, I think. He was fantastic in that show. The Defenders, it was also a nice miniseries. Life on Mars, I watched this one years ago, so I don't actually remember if it was that good. I think it was just okay. She also did 1 episode of Succession, that's a fantastic show, go check it out. Orange is the New Black, great. Bates Motel also. So yeah, was this like her first movie ever? Maybe, who knows, and well, it's not great. Her direction is like, okay. It kinda reminded me of that movie Elektra from 2005, but worse. Sorry. Let's check the writers. Yeah, show me those people. Yeah, yeah. I'm just going to say yeah all the time, because it's more fun than watching this movie. Okay. So, Matt Sazama is known for Morbius, Gods of Egypt, and Madame Web. The Last Witch Hunter. Was this the movie with Vin Diesel? It was hilarious, that one was funny, so his writing isn't that great, to be honest. And Berg did the same stuff. So is this some fucked up duo of people or whatever? What Claire Parker has been doing? Oh yeah, Live on Mars. So yeah, as you can deduce from those people, they aren't the most talented bunch. I don't want to insult them, but it's the truth. It's like asking a band like Puddle of Mud to write Bohemian Rhapsody by Queen. It will never happen. Let's focus on the cast now, because this is where I have the most amount of things to say. So, the main character, Cassandra Webb, is played by Dakota Johnson. The Office, she was in 1 episode. That's great. What annoys me the most, that I am even losing my words, is the fact that how the main character, played by Dakota Johnson, just does not care about anything. Like, her acting skills here, it feels like she doesn't want to be there. And that's obvious, because she probably knew from the start that the movie would be shit and she just wanted some money. But, there are some actors that even in shitty movies, they play with their range and emotions. They give their best shot just to have fun. For example, Nicolas Cage. And some people don't like Nicolas Cage, others love him. And I just want you to know that I think that Nicolas Cage, even in those bad movies like Ghost Rider, Second Part, or some other shit, you always feel like he's doing something, like he cares and he's unhinged and he has fun. And because of that, even if you're watching a shitty movie with Nicolas Cage, it's still a slightly pleasant time, like you are not feeling robbed of your time or money or whatever. And here, when it comes to the main character, I don't feel that vibe from her. She just doesn't care. She feels like wood, like she's so stiff that parts where they're just talking the conversations, wow, like here, in this moment, I couldn't believe how soulless this stuff was, how devoid of emotions, so it was so bad, like watching some soap opera where the characters don't care about each other, and Dakota is like, "Bleh." She's like, I just have to do this, I will just try act like I'm always surprised. The worst scene for me was the one where they were in the car and she was saying that after they've been found out by the bad guy at the diner, she's like saying her emotions, like, don't do that, I care about you, shit like that. It was so devoid of any emotions or meaning. It was like, yeah, don't do that. That was bad. Don't do it ever again. I was like, holy fuck. I just wish she wanted to have some fun, you know, even if the movie is going to be shit, just at least do it over the top or something, because Morbius is a bad movie. Like, I dislike it. I'm also a big hater of Jared Leto or whatever, because of how he acts, you know, he has his cult or whatever. He's a weird batshit crazy guy, but at least watching him in Morbius was hilarious because he was overacting every scene. He was like so full of ego, you know, ego top dude. He's just like, I'm Morbius. It was funny. And here, no one cares except one actor who I'm going to talk about later. And it's so sad. It's so sad that I actually need to go and sneeze because I cannot stand this. So wait for me. I am not even going to edit this out because Madam Web doesn't deserve it. And Madam Web is so edited to shit that I feel like we need some time to take a break. I'm back. Great. So, let's move on to other actors and actresses. Sydney Sweeney. Well, everyone loves her. She did play nice in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. She's like such a annoying teenager in this movie. Also, she's younger than me. Now I feel old. So yeah, I am not going to criticize her. She was just playing an annoying teenager. She was okay, but then we've got Celeste. I did not enjoy her performance. She was supposed to be this angry teenager, you know. She flipped off the Madam Web at like the beginning. Oh, I saw her in Ghostbusters. I didn't even know. Isabella Merced. Nickelodeon Ho Ho Holiday Special. This is going to be amazing. She was so annoying in this movie. She was like, wow, can you see in the future? Prove it, wow. Also born 2001. That was my favorite year, like, we had so many great nu metal records come out in 2001. System of a Down, Toxicity, POD, Satellite, Slayer, God Hates Us All, which is like half thrash metal, half nu metal. Great stuff, such a good year. Stained, Break the Cycle. That year went hard. And also she was born, so nice. Next, we've got the main villain. The dude is called The Sims. He's like the video game. I laughed so hard when they first said his name because I didn't know it was Sims. He's playing over the top, but the direction and the lines he has, they make him sound like, I don't want to be controversial, but he sounds like a retard in a lot of those conversations. Like that scene at the beginning where he sleeps with that woman and he just kills her like for no reason at all. Like the acting is like half fine, half hilarious, but everything the villain is doing is so stupid in this movie. Like, he doesn't have to kill those people, he doesn't even have to be a villain. He justifies his bad behavior because when he was young, no one helped his family. And I'm like, yeah, so it doesn't mean you're going to become Joker or some shit. Like, you can still be a good person, or I don't know, a villain who is played like he actually helps people but he doesn't. That would have been much more interesting than being a one dimensional cunt. Like, I don't enjoy this villain. He's so silly. Scenes with him and Madame Web, you know, like the visions, just so cut up. They reminded me of that final Resident Evil movie, the final chapter, which had the worst editing ever. Like, go see that movie. So yeah, the main villain, I guess he looks good, and that's just it. Everything else was abysmal. Next we've got Mike Epps playing O'Neill. He was this dude that was flipping some burgers, I think, in the movie. He was like, yeah, what is going on? I have nothing bad to say about him. I am actually sad that he is in this movie because he doesn't deserve it. There's also Emma Roberts here. Who was she playing? She was either the wife or a cousin of Ben Parker, so Adam Scott character. You see, I've just seen this movie like, I don't know, 12 hours ago before going to sleep, and I don't remember who she was. But her playing wasn't bad, it was like standard acting, whatever. And I think she's a good actress because I saw her in some things, the American Horror Story, Drake and Josh, hell yeah, hell yeah. We have Adam Scott, who plays Ben Parker, and I was so surprised to see him in this film. And my first thought was, what is such a fantastic actor doing in this shit movie? He's probably here just for the money, or maybe, I don't know, he lost a bet or something. I'm sure you know Adam Scott, he plays in Severance, he was also in Parks and Recreation, those are my two favorite roles by him. He was the only positive side of this film, probably because I like his work, you know. I think he has the same name here as he did in Parks and Recreation. Is it Ben? Like, let's see. Yes, Ben Wyatt. So Ben Parker, Ben Wyatt, he was underutilized for sure, and yeah, he was just there. I am not even sure if he was playing or he was just being himself and just didn't care. Editing, nauseous. The story is like non-existent, it's like a placeholder. It's like, remember that video game Blood 2 The Chosen? Which was released in a, wow, atrocious state in like 1998 because the creators sent an alpha version to the distributors, GT Interactive, and they said that they need 2 more years to make the game, you know, to finish it. And GT Interactive was like, they've released the alpha build on December, I think, 98, like, before they went bankrupt, and basically the game is shit and it was never finished. Madame Web feels like that, like, it's like someone sat down and wrote some meaningless shit, or had like an idea, and he wrote it on 1 page, and they were like, this is amazing, and now let's just stretch it out, fill in the gaps with some teenage drama, some long chase sequences, like, they're just running away. Like, the first time those characters are running away from the train station, they're running away so slow. I am not even sure what is happening there, like, the whole scene is like so bad, the whole section, that action section, like, what the hell is going on? I was not prepared for this movie. I don't know, if I'm going to tell you the story, maybe Hideo Kojima will ban me or something, or he will kill me, because he also saw this movie, and his review was the best one, because he only posted a picture on the Instagram, and he said he saw Madame Web. He didn't say anything, because usually when he posts some stuff, like music or movie related, he says some nice words about it, you know, that he enjoyed it, or this song was great. Here he didn't say anything, and I feel like that was the best review of Madame Web, so this anti-review will be the best anti-review, just anti-review. So the story is basically like that. This is Madame's Web mother, I don't remember her name, let's just call her Jessie, and Jessie goes to Amazon to find, or somewhere else, to find those spiders that can cure diseases. How does she even know that there are spiders like that? And why? Why is it a known knowledge? Like, what is going on here? And she goes because her daughter, which is in her womb as of now, she still hasn't given birth, is sick with some disease, and she basically wants to save her daughter. And sadly she goes on the expedition with that bad dude, I will just call him Tommy the villain, because why not? The names don't even matter at all here. Tommy the villain turns out to be a bad dude, and he shoots the other guys, and she's saying to Madame Web's mother, Jessie, hand over the spider, hand over the spider. And she's like, no, I will not. And they have the worst kind of like back and forth between each other, and then he shoots her, and it looks so cringy, so forced, so unnatural. This was the scene where I was like, okay, this movie is over to me, like, it's going to get worse from this point on. And it did. Usually when there is a movie that is being shitted on, for example, there's this comedy called Demoted. Sure, it's not the best movie, but it was fun, and there are a lot of fun movies that aren't bad. And then you have Madame Web. Like, this is seriously bad because it's blunt and the story doesn't make any sense. The bad dude sees the spider, and there's this tribe of special spider people who rescue Jessie, and she gives birth to Madame Web. And why does Madame Web have her powers? Because her mother got bitten by La Arachnia or whatever, a spider, special spider, like a spider from Walmart or some shit, and now she has powers, but she doesn't know it yet. Nope, she doesn't know it yet. And some time passes, like I think 30 years. It's the year 2003. Madame Web, she's a medic or whatever. And Adam Scott, Ben Wyatt, is also the medic. They're like driving, having some banter, saving people, hunting things, the family business. Supernatural, move on. I just hated how 2003 is being portrayed here, because it doesn't look like 2003. It looks like CGI mess. The music is not on point. Like in 2003 you had Evanescence, Bring Me to Life, you had Korn, Take a Look in the Mirror. You could have used the song Right Now or Did My Time. That song was used in Tomb Raider 2 from what I remember. It even had a music video with Angelina Jolie. What else came out in 2003? Chimera, The Impossibility of Reason, Linkin Park, Meteora. Like, they could have used Numb or Don't Stay or whatever, but I guess the budget for this movie was so small that they couldn't afford anything. They could have used so many songs, like even songs from the previous years, like 2002, 2001, whatever. You could have used Limp Bizkit, many great artists that released music between 1994 and 2003, and you didn't use any of them. I am sure that some smaller bands would didn't even take a lot of money, you know, so the budget wouldn't be a problem. So this just annoys me that the music is shit, it's almost non-existent. I don't even remember any song from this movie. Like, the soundtrack is garbage, but that's actually quite typical for movies this age. Like, it's been years since I've seen a movie that had a really good soundtrack with various music genres like rock, metal, reggae, rap, whatever. Nowadays it's only some, I don't know, some pop music, or when they want to show some action scenes, it's, I don't know, either cinematic classical stuff or rapping, you know, but rap isn't heavy. Like, when you have a fighting sequence, just put in some fucking nu metal, some deathcore, some metalcore, some death metal, some thrash metal, whatever, something heavy, because when there is a fight, a heavy music is needed. Even some very heavy electronic music like The Prodigy would fit more than the stuff they show in every movie nowadays. So I've been hating on music in movies for like, I think almost 20 years, because it's just so bad, especially in the last 10 years. Like, have you watched Fast and Furious? That series is not that great, but the last 6 parts have such an atrocious music. Like, the soundtrack is so bad, like, it's the most copy-pasted songs of all time there, and it just lacks any identity. And Madame Web is a shit movie, but at least they had a chance to make a metal soundtrack, because usually when a movie isn't that great, it has a fantastic soundtrack. For example, there's this very hidden gem called The One with Jet Li and Jason Statham. That movie is a classic. Sure, it's kinda dated now because of the CGI effects and so on, But that movie is fun to watch and the soundtrack is banging. It has Drowning Pool, Papa Roach, Disturbed, Owa Ah Ah song is there. So why isn't Owa Ah Ah in Madame Web? Like, they could have even used it to make a meme or something, so the movie would spread and it would gain more, recognition, popularity. But nope. This is just soulless. Everything is shit here. Should I continue about the story? Because I've been derailed, because I thought about the music and I got angry. So Madame Web basically has an accident, she falls into a river in her ambulance because she saved some dude. There she finds out she has webs or some stuff, and like, she can stop a bad thing from happening, she can rewind time, but she can't control it right now. Like, sometimes it rewinds on its own and then she has a chance to save a person. And this is actually very annoying because there's a scene where she is being shown that this dude is going to die, and then he dies and she cannot save him, but then a pigeon hits her window and she saves the pigeon. So I was thinking the whole movie, like, what is the point of this? Like, she forgot she could save that person, but the pigeon was so important, like, we need to save pigeons, fuck humanity, like, the pigeons are the way to go. This is how I felt. Like, think about that when she finally gets her powers at the end. Can she just go back in time and stop this entire thing from happening? Why not? Like, she can do so much, her powers are all over the place, so go back in time and stop Madame Web from ever happening, like that movie. Like, if Madame Web truly existed, then this movie would be gone and we wouldn't know about it. It would be a Mandela effect. Some people would remember it, most would say, no, it doesn't exist, Going back to the shit story, which is as interesting as me talking about it, Madame Web is being stalked by this bad dude who killed her mother because he has visions that there are those 3 girls and they are going to kill him and he needs to find them. Anyways, this whole premise is stupid because this is just a self-fulfilling prophecy. Like, if this dude wouldn't seek those people out, they would have not killed him. At least that's what I thought from this movie. Like, he is creating every problem in his life with his own decisions. Like, those people are trying to kill him because he tried to kill them first. There is one scene in this movie where I felt like I could be watching something better, something could have used this plot in a better sense, like when Madame Web is in the cave of her ancestors and she goes back into the past and talks with her mother and she sees so many webs, like possibilities of future. And what if they made a different movie with a person with those powers, like maybe a psychological thriller, like where Madame Web gets her powers and she has to stop some bad personal trauma, like being raped or abused, and the movie would be dark and there would also be a monster that would be like personification of all the bad things that happened, and it would hunt her down and other people. And the monster, like, she thought it wouldn't be real, but the monster would be real, and that movie would be scary with some good soundtrack, good acting. And then we have this shit movie. So as I was watching Madame Web, I was making better stories, plots and like ideas for movies in my head as this fucking movie went on. Like, I was like, I have an idea, this probably is better. My favorite story about mutants or whatever, people, superheroes, blah blah blah, is Legion, the TV show Legion. It has 3 seasons. It's about this mutant who is like mentally ill, or is he? Or maybe he isn't. Go watch it, it's fantastic and it's million times better than this shit. So yeah, actually this reminded me of Legion. Maybe I will go watch Legion later, so I can wash the stains from my body, the odor of Madame Web. I don't want this shit. So, long story short, the evil dude is harassing the girls. The girls go hide in the woods. They have the worst conversations there. That's the worst part of the movie for me, for sure, like 100%. Then they go to the diner, he finds them there, they fight. Then they hide in Madame Web's apartment. At the end, they fight him at the top of some building, I think, and Madame Web loses her sight, but she gets superpowers, she kills the bad dude, and then she lives with those girls in her apartment, I think, which is very weird, because what about their parents or whatever? Like, what is going on? And at the end of the movie, Madame Web is like, it's webbing time, and Morbius shows up, and they fist bump each other, and suddenly Linkin Park Faint starts playing. Wow, that ending, such a great movie. Sorry, I just lied to you, it doesn't end like that suddenly. Suddenly, Madame Web is like, I see the future. She doesn't look happy, so maybe she saw that Nickelback released a new album or something, but then she's like, talking to those girls like, yeah, I see you're going to become a nice warriors, great warriors, you're so great, a small loan of $1 million, and they are like, what are you talking about, Madame Web? And Madame Web is like, yeah, don't worry about it, we're going to build a wall. Sorry, anyways, yeah, anything is funnier than the movie itself, like, the girls basically become superheroes, and there are Spider-Man's knockoffs or something, and it all looks so bad. And then finally the movie ends, some shit song is playing on the credits, there is no scene after credits, at least I didn't see it, and that's the movie, So let's rate Madame Web, because I want to go fucking do something else, like I don't want to be here, this is already too long, like every anti-review was like, I don't know, do short, and this shit is long because I didn't prepare a script, so yeah, your rating, 1 out of 10. Because of Adam Scott. Adam Scott was okay, everything else was abysmal. 6%, 10 out of 10. I guess it's a joke, right? Who the fuck is giving 6 out of 10 to this movie? Like, I want to read some reviews to see what other people are thinking. Makes Morbius look like the Dark Knight. Yeah, actually, this is true. Like, I agree with this statement, because Morbius was a awful movie. When I saw Morbius, I was like, we can't go lower than that. And 2 years later, we can go lower. You can always go lower. To paraphrase a quote from Star Wars, there's always a bigger fish. That's what Qui-Gon says to Obi-Wan, I think, in The Phantom Menace, movie featuring Pepsi and product placement. Actually, I didn't even cared about it. I saw that they had a lot of Pepsi bottles around, but I was like, I don't care. I also haven't drank soda since like 2014. Like, I can't drink this shit because it hurts my teeth. Like, I need to prioritize my health. So Pepsi, Coca-Cola, all of that shit is nope, just nope. Sony needs to stop making superhero content. That's true. I am filled with hatred. It can't get any worse. So bad it's good, or so bad it's bad. No, this isn't so bad it's good movie. Morbius is like that, because Morbius is funny. There are a lot of movies that are so bad that they are good. But this isn't one of them. This is annoying. This is painful to watch. This is boring. Like, I tried so hard and got so far, but in the end it doesn't even matter. No, I tried so hard to not fall asleep, and it was a battle. Even when I turn off my brain, I still see that the plot doesn't make any sense. For example, Dude, Where Is My Car? It's a comedy. For me, it's a 10 out of 10 movie. It's hilarious, it's so stupid, but it's entertaining, and Madame Web is not entertaining. What is the hidden meaning of this movie? That the corporation wanted more money and they've shitted out a shitty movie that looks like a failed pilot for a TV show, and they've wasted so much money on it that they had to release it, because they had to release something, because I don't know, maybe they could have lost the license to use the characters from Marvel or whatever, because it does seem like that. And they wanted to recuperate their losses by getting sponsorships from Pepsi or some shit. It looks like that. A movie I hated a lot is called Black Widow, and that movie was a mess. It was like awful. But I think it's better than Madame Web. Even that one is better. I hope that this is just trolling. I am happy for you that you've enjoyed this movie. I am happy that you don't feel like you've wasted your time, that your brain lost some IQ points over it. I'm happy for you. I wish I was like you. I wish I didn't care about anything. I think we should just stop here because this is getting too long and no one is going to watch this. 25th place. Wow. What are you telling me? That Madame Web is higher than the Passion of the Christ is below Madame Web. Sorry. Sorry, this is just funny. This is just funny. Oh, American Fiction. This movie was great. Go check it out. It's fantastic. Madame Web isn't that bad. It's better than Interstellar and Top Gun Maverick. I hope those people do not exist. Like, it's a joke. Like, Oppenheimer is a very long movie. It's a hard movie to watch, but it's interesting and you care about the characters and the story makes sense because it's based on real stuff. So then you have Madame Web, where nothing works. This is an Oscar material movie compared to Madame Web. So I don't know, go watch The Beekeeper. The story also doesn't make sense, but the movie is at least fun. That was Jimaku Brimstone talking about Madame Web for over half an hour. I'm sorry that you had to be here, or maybe you left after the first minute because of my accent. That's all. I will see you in my other videos. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Follow me on my Instagram, links in the description. Support me on Patreon so I can get more money than the writers of Madame Web, so I can be more happier person, and maybe, just maybe, I will do some new anti-review in the future. Why not? It's going to be fun for sure. Yeah. Bye.